Alright, so I'm on my way home from umpiring. Thought I'd shoot out a little video tonight. I haven't done one in a couple days on my new channel. Tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about some financial stuff. Read an interesting article today about the Tax and Jobs Act. You know, the most recent one by our president who cut taxes and, of course, cut them for all the American people, yada, yada, yada. I know a lot of people didn't see it. They had to pay more back in their refund, or they didn't get a refund. I know an argument for that is, hey, you got more in your check, which is absolutely true. A lot of folks did get more in their check. They didn't have their withholding adjusted with the new tax act, and so they saw more in their check, and then eventually what happened was they didn't get anything back. So these people say you still got a tax cut, which is true in a sense. Also, people got more during the year. They had to pay some back, again saying, well, you got more during the year, so of course you're not getting anything back, and that's why you didn't get a tax cut, and they kind of defended the Tax Job Act. So this right here, my little video, has nothing to do about politics. I'm not going to get into Trump, Obama, friggin' Bush, Reagan, Nixon, JFK, any of those guys. I'm not getting into any past presidents, future presidents, current presidents, none of that. What I will say, though, is in this article, okay, talked about overall the government actually did bring in less revenue this year. So the tax cut didn't really, it did in fact save some people money, okay? I want to say the prior year it said it was like 1.8 something billion that they returned, or I'm sorry, 1.7 something billion that was returned. This year it was like 1.8, so it was a little bit more than went back, so there was a little bit more money going back to people. However, this is where it gets pretty interesting, and this is what brings the whole topic of this video up, is this year, when you look at the money that went back, okay, of that 1.8, it's pretty interesting that like 90 billion less went to individual family homes, okay? And it broke it down by like a certain amount of income, but we're talking what they consider middle class families, okay? 90 billion less went to those middle class families. I believe the chart they had said something like families that were like below or at the poverty level, and I forget how many, they went by like numbers of people in the house, but basically those lower income families saw a return of I think it was $40 more. The middle class income on average, now this is all average, on average the middle class saw about $800 more per return, or less liability at the end of the year, let's say that. Whereas your top 1% saw $33,000 more. So again, yes, money did go back to people, but I mean, you're going to look at that disparity. Your top percent's getting $33,000 back, less liability return, however you want to cut it down, and the poor person down the road is getting an extra $40, and who probably needs it more? Probably the poor person, right? Or maybe the middle income earner. Okay. Now, of that 90 billion, I just kind of broke that down a little bit. Get this, okay? So 90 billion went back to our normal working hard people. 91 billion more of that returned money went to corporations and businesses. Let me repeat that. 91 billion, okay? So what's that tell you? That tells you that essentially the money that did not go to your family homes, your one single families, middle class families, whatever, went to the corporations. I mean, that's almost an even split. 90 million less going to individual families, 91 billion more going to corporations, businesses, sole proprietors, however you want to bust it down. Which brings up the point of this. the point of this whole little, I don't want to say rant, but the point of my video is, people, you've got to be able to make that change, right? Go start a business. Okay? I know you can say that's easier said than done. But I listen to a guy on YouTube a lot who's all about starting businesses. Honestly, you should go check him out. His name is Glennon Cameron. Legit. Dude got started off in storage auctions. Before that, he was a furniture salesman. A lot of different things. Knows a lot about businesses. But I'll tell you right now, that really is the way to go. And it doesn't have to be your full-time job. I get it. You're working hard. However, like with this recent Jobs Cuts Act, and they've put pass-through income, and the top first 20% of your income, you're gonna have wiped off anyways. So it just makes sense, start a business. Even if you don't start a business, learn your taxes, okay? Lower your tax liability. Put some more money into your retirement. If you don't already have your stuff come out of your paychecks, tax deferred, do that first. Have your medical insurance, your retirement, all those deductions come out of your check before taxes. Then you're paying taxes on less money, okay? Now, I'm not saying to go cheat the government or go lie on your tax and that. No, not at all. But, you've got to learn how to play the game, so to speak. Everyone gets pissed off and they say, oh, well, it's catered to the rich and it's catered to this person and that person. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who am I to say? I mean, the numbers show that, yeah, right now with our current administration, things are kind of catered toward that. However, there's an old saying like, don't hate the player, hate the game. No. Like the dude that I was talking about, that I watch on YouTube, what does he say? Don't hate the player, don't hate the game, learn the rules so you can win, right? So that's the thing, talking about this. Learn. There's a lot of people that don't learn. I did taxes 1 year at H&R Block. Wasn't able to do them last year because of my main job. They wouldn't sign off on me doing that part-time, whatever. But so many people come and ask me questions. Hey, you did taxes, let me ask you a question. Shit, dude, learn. Even if you didn't want to go and work for the tax place, go take that course in H&R Block, man, it's $100. Get a wealth of knowledge. Start learning some things. What is tax deductible? What's not? How should I set this up? And if you don't want to learn for yourself, that's fine. Get a good accountant. Ask them before you make these decisions, before you change things. Last year when all the job cuts and stuff, our work, since we work for the state, put out a video on how it's going to affect, and it broke down a family of 4 with this, and this under last year, and then under the new year, and you can see that I went and adjusted my withholdings. We came out all right. There's plenty of people at my work who watched that video that then never went and adjusted their hold and said, whatever, I'll just wait and see what happens. And then they're bitching in February because they owed money. I guess the point of this is you got to educate yourself. The government ain't going to do it for us, okay? And if rules are made that help the wealthier or this, that, instead of sitting at home on the sideline and bitching and complaining about how it's unfair and how maybe we should have more subsidies or more this and that, you got to even the player field. We need different wages and all that stuff. And I understand. I totally understand. Some things are a little out of control. I don't know if I'm all for raising the minimum wage or not. That's another different conversation for a different day. There's some things that say it does help the economy, some things that say it doesn't, because then they have to raise prices to, counter that and blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to get in that conversation. However, I'm just saying, learn some of these things, set up. Like, I see plenty of people who are doing Avon or hair products or Scentsy and all this stuff. Hey, if you're going to make a little bit extra money, I guess that's my point, If you're doing that, there you go. You got yourself an LLC. You got a little business. Now you got some expenses you can write off. Just be smart with it. When you're going to do stuff for your business and you incorporate those things, then you can write off some of that mileage. You can write off maybe some of your bills or whatever if you set it up the right way. That's all I'm saying. Learn the game. Because right now, things aren't always set up for that poor person or that middle income worker. So instead of complaining about what you don't have or how the deck is stacked against you, say go out and educate yourself, okay? People want to invest money in things. The biggest investment you can make is in yourself, right? Educate yourself on these things. Invest in yourself, whether it be investing in a business or just investing in having a good accountant on your team that can help you walk through these things, different stuff like that. I saw a saying that said, any government that's big enough to take care of you is big enough to take everything from you. And that's true too. And not saying I'm anti-government or anything, but really, I think a lot of people start relying on the government and they need to do this and that. Now, one thing I would like to see, or I think that would be a good idea, is, maybe the government should cap like some of these places that with outrageous rent. Maybe there should be a cap on that. I just recently saw Colorado passed a law capping insulin. Now, they can charge the insurance company as much as they want, but there's a law about how much can be passed on to the consumer. Hopefully the insurance company doesn't just basically then pass that expense on by jacking up premiums, but it sounds like right now they're not going to do that, or they're trying to not do that. But so I do think some of those things the government needs to get in the middle of that. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the wages and shit, the government can't always do that. And even when they do, a lot of times businesses counteract by firing people and laying jobs off. So I'm just saying, reading that article, listen to people complain about how the businesses got more, and they did. If you read through the tax cut, they did. They got better things for them and whatever. But that's my point is, and I'm not saying everyone has to start a business, but really, if you need some additional income and stuff, that is one way to go. And if you do it the right way, you can add some expenses in there to really lower your taxable income to where you're still bringing in some money on the side, but overall, you're lowering your taxable income. You're getting some write-offs. You're doing some things. The biggest thing about this video, I guess, is looking at that breakdown of who got what and how essentially the same amount got paid out, yet, where it all went. Kind of the rich got richer, businesses got more tax cuts, and I get it. But again, don't be salty. Don't be salty. Go learn the rules, learn the game. That way you can win. So anyways, that's kind of my little video for tonight. Little financial stuff, little thoughts in my mind. Get out there and take charge of that stuff. And again, the biggest investment you can make is in yourself, okay? And whether that be investing in someone on your team, investing in your education, learning these things. I know plenty of people out here that are self-employed, that maybe they don't own their business, but they're working for somebody, so they're self-employed. They do hair, they do nails, they do all different things where maybe they're subcontracted, and quite a few of them don't fully understand stuff, and they just bring it to my account, they do it. And that's great, but have your accountant explain stuff to you so you know, because one of the best things you can do is be proactive. You can do things to put you in a good spot and set yourself up throughout the year versus just going about your daily business and then figuring out how do I make this work for me now. No, figure out what you need to do to make it work for you throughout. So again, just, keep fighting the good fight, everybody. And, I'll probably have a lot more on my take on finances and things like that later. Like I said, it's just gonna be a general station. I'll have our channel. I'll have finances. I'll have sports, whatever. Just my little rants, different things, spitting knowledge, spitting motivation. Just being me. But definitely get out there, invest in yourself. For all you people that own homes, have kids, have a side hustle, any of that stuff, learn the rules so you can win the game. All right, peace out. Have a good night.